Today's episode is sponsored by Ian's Display Accessories, the best figure stands for modern and vintage Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Marvel Legends, and TGC Customs. Hey, do you want to get classified accessories that are more reflective to the Generation 1 or Generation 2 retro line? TGC Customs is the 3D print solution for that problem. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Codename YouTube V.2. Hi, I'm your presenter, Shabu Are You. Well, today we're going to take a look at the latest G.I. Joe Classifieds Snake Eyes release. Now you're probably thinking like I did, do I really need another Snake Eyes? I mean, he is character number one when it comes to this line. And already there's been probably about a half a dozen Snake Eyes already released from the Classifieds line. And I was totally going to skip this one. And then I watched an episode of our good friend Chris from Comic Tropes, and he picked up this. And of course, FOMO set in. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I have a whole bunch of gift cards. Why not? What the hell? So I end up picking one up. And again, it's like one of those things where you don't really need to, but somehow your finger finds to the purchase button. But we're we're just gonna take a quick look at this and see. I like Timber. Like before off the bat, I think one of the things that this classified line has done and done well is the animal companions. They've been standing alone. They've been phenomenal. So there was actually another Snake Eyes with Timber issued, and I think that was more to the Commando. And I still think this one you're going to see is more geared towards the Commando versus the Ninja aspect. So we're going to take a look at that. All right, here we go. Alrighty, so here we go with the box of classified Snake Eyes. And again, this is a continuation of the plastic-free boxing that Hasbro is starting to implement across all of its lines. We're seeing this in Marvel Legends. We're seeing this in G.I. Joe Classifieds, obviously, as well as Star Wars. So you just got to get used to this. It's a little bit weird and a little bit um, different, but just have to get used to it. And the interesting thing is our good friend, Articulated Chad, go check out his site, may note that the box art reminds him of a puzzle. Like, you know, when you get a box to build a puzzle, it has that thing. So I kind of thought that that was freaking hilarious. But anyway, so here I got the other classified versions of Snake Eyes that I had. Of course, there's a deluxe version and then the regular classified version, and of course, the Snake Eyes origin version. Now we look at the back of the box, which is basically what's going to be your quote unquote new window as to see everything that's included inside the box. His signs, and this is number 52. I wonder if those signs match up with the other Snake Eyes. That would be interested to see because they released a 2-pack before, the Commando version of Snake Eyes and Timber. Now this one is paying, like I said, a little bit more homage to the version 2 Snake Eyes that we got in 1985. And of course, there's a locker that's included with these windowless or plastic-free boxes. Now, the interesting thing is, like, you got to make sure that every single cardboard thing you open, invest in an X-Acto knife or like I have the Craftsman box cutter. Also, the one end is a box cutter, the other end is a regular knife, folding knife, and that's a pretty good thing to utilize when you get through this because you want to make sure you open everything because that's where all your accessories are housed in. And just take your time when you use your knife. You see, I'm doing it here. I'm being very careful, and everything is packaged nicely. But at the same time, it's just something that you have to get used to. Um, I know with the recent wave of the Crimson Guard, Zorana, and Dusty, as well as the recent Tiger Force and Python Patrol, they're using the old box. So some of them are still, depends on when they were, manufactured. But nonetheless, they're starting to do away with it. And I've seen Marvel Legends and Star Wars now also incorporating this. So all of us fans, many of us. Oh, there we go. The interesting is I wanted to look at the sword. Comparing it with the 1985, and we have this classified version sword. It's pretty cool. I like that it has the Arashikage by the hilt, and then this is the other head for Timber as well. A little bit more menacing, a little bit more. Um, and the funny thing is, like, there's a guy at the end of the street who has a wolf dog, and those things are fucking huge. Like, if you haven't seen a wolf dog, it is like when you first see one, you're like, "Holy shit, is that a wolf?" But sure enough, like they're huge. And this is where I think the genius is really lies in these companion animals. The articulation for like a wolf or anything, even with the Crocmaster's alligator or Spirit's freedom, like it's amazing the articulation that we got. And here's a lineup of all the companions that I have thus far. It's just wonderful. That in itself, I think, is worth getting uh, this figure. Is just to have that Timber. I couldn't compare it to the other Timber because I haven't gotten that yet. I might end up picking that up if it's still available, but you know how shit is. Like, once they're gone, they're gone. But Hasbro's doing a little bit better of a job. And again, this is a comparison with the general release Snake Eyes. My visor I painted, but I just wanted to compare, like, the grenades are kind of the same, except, one's going in a different direction. Uh, there are some similarities between the two. I think that this one is a hybrid of the deluxe version and the regular release. And of course, I put him next to Stalker because they both have that little shawl that they come with. I think that's a pain in the ass. So I just put it on just to show you guys, but I took that shit right off because you got to take all that stuff off and then put that shawl on and then take that stuff off and then put. So it's just not worth it. It looks good on Stalker, but for this Snake Eyes. And the other thing is, I also think that this is kind of a not only version 2, but there was another Snake Eyes that they made the 25th anniversary line, paying homage to issue number 2. So that's another thing that I kind of think that this figure represents, is like a issue number 2 / version 2 as well. And this is a beautiful figure. I think it's really nice. It's a little change of pace for Snake Eyes. And, I'm kind of glad that FOMO set in. And of course, post holidays, we all get stuck with a shitload of gift cards. So what the hell? Why not pick this up and add it to your collection? I think it was pretty. So that does it for this quick look through. We'll see you in another episode of Codename V.2. Have a good one, guys.